things like where if you take like the animal carcass on the back of your horse, that can also attract scavengers as well, so you have to be a bit careful how you sort of deal with that. But those kind of things, that's just adds to the challenge of again, making it quite realistic. So you're always going to be thinking, am I too far away, how am I going to get this back, those kind of things. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Also, if you get a bounty on your head in a town and clear your name by paying the said bounty, the town's people will still remember you anyway and the trouble you caused and comment on it when you return. So that is something we definitely didn't see in the last game, and to be honest with you, I doubt really I've seen it in too many open world games where you create a bit of anarchy, you go back there and those people are still going to remember what you did and comment on it and stuff like that. I think that's going to be really cool, the fact that they're putting that in, and this going to play into this kind of whole new open world experience that we've been there's been promises about this game. Really, if there's one thing about it, it's the open world experience is like at a new level. So I'm hoping that will be a big part of it. How about this? If a thunderstorm strikes, your horse will get visibly agitated. Now, when we talk about thunderstorm, I'm thinking back to Zelda. They're crazy in that game. It's like, it's not a place to be, is it, in that place in Zelda, because Breath of the Wild, literally, the weather is quite a key thing, and whenever there's a thunder, unless you've got the right stuff on, you're in trouble for that period. So you have to be a bit careful. But I think it'll be quite cool in this, given everything. I'm glad that the weather. I think the weather's got to be a big part of an open world game. I mean, if you haven't got that right, would probably give it a yay or a nay overall of like how good the entire thing's going to be. So that's cool that they're doing that. And of course, goes without saying, the bond with your horse is important. Increasing the bond with your horse unlocks tricks such as rearing, skid turns, and doing tighter angle turns when having shootouts and stuff. So that's kind of cool that they're putting that in. And of course, the stronger you bond with your horse, the less frightened it will be, and the high stress level scenarios such as a gunfight or under threat from a bear, he's gonna react very differently to that. For you, Matt, I know we had you get the thing in Zelda where there's that kind of relationship between you and the horse, but in this I'm hoping for a little bit more of an even greater experience with that. Is that something that you're looking forward to doing as well, or is that, I know you said you like all the realistic stuff, but is this, do you think they're going to get this right? Because sometimes, I do see these in games where there's horseback in it, but they try to make it, there is a real sort of level of detailed AI with it, and you really believe in that the more you do to tame and be nice to this horse, that it's going to be a real part of you, and you're going to get a connection. But it's hard to do that in a video game, but I get the sense that they're trying to really push that in this game.
Yeah, and I think it's another great aspect to the game. I feel like you will get a bond with that horse because you will want to track down the best one. You will want to tame that horse because it has the best stats. It will be the fastest, or the one that will be the one that you want to attain. And then when you get that, you want to keep them. So if you spend all this time bonding with them, you'd think you might be upset when they get shot. But it sounds like they definitely have spent a lot of time on this dynamic, and the realism there is definitely there. I mean, we know that we've heard in other things that the weather affects the horse, and also that the horse will produce his own wastes. Don't stand behind the horse because you might get
yes, that's a good point.
Of that mud drying effect.
Yeah, so you got to be careful. You don't want to get kicked and anything else it's going to do if you're not nice to it. So something that a lot of my friends were asking me, randomly, was questions because travelling around and how that's going to work. And I'm kind of glad they put this in. So you can buy tickets to ride trains from the post office. Riding the train is a form of fast travel, but you can also, have like scenic views going on as well. So they'll add cinematic views like they kind of did in the last game where you was on a carriage and stuff. You could either watch the entire journey or you can fast travel, and as realistic as you want it to be. And I'm sure, like I was telling you about earlier with the whole sim players out there, especially on the bus one, he would probably be one of those people that would sit through the entire 2 hours of getting place to place. But for me, obviously, I'll enjoy the experience for a little while, but I will definitely be, fast travelling. But, with so many good views and stuff like that, maybe there is temptation to actually chill out for a little while after a bit of gameplay, and, it's just nice to have on in the background. So, I think it's good that you've got the option, and I think that will please everybody. It also says straight underneath this, then again, you can also hijack and drive trains by, getting alongside them and jumping aboard from your horse. So that's cool. The fact that you can drive the train as well sounds pretty different to what we were used to in the last one, because there wasn't a whole lot. Like, they had the train in it, but you couldn't really do an awful lot with, definitely couldn't hijack it and stuff like that at the time. So that's going to be cool. If you shoot an animal with a bullet rather than an arrow, it will fetch a lower price at the town butcher than a clean kill. So there are butchers in this. There's going to be a place you can sell to as well. So that's interesting that's the case. But then that's realistic. Obviously, I've seen some of the shots with the arrows and stuff. And seen him do that. But I'm glad they've put that in. Those details, going to make it's going to be fascinating, Matt, I think, to begin with, to what is going to help us achieve money well. Like, how are we what is going to be our go-to things? And I get the feeling, Matt, that hunting is probably going to be one of the main things. Obviously going in and hijacking and trying to do all those, they're fine, but they sound like there could be a high risk if we're going to be doing that all the time. So it's going to be interesting to see what is like how you're going to earn some good cash in this, because that's going to be quite important. But I'm guessing the whole animals and selling them and all the rest of it is, not only have you got to feed yourself, but also could probably bring you in some money. Obviously there's going to be bounties out there to go and collect. That's going to be a big thing as well. That'll fetch a decent price for you. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, in the last game, Matt, what was your sort of go-to thing? Did you enjoy the hunting, the bounty hunting, the sort of whole experience, or were there certain things that you enjoyed more than others?
No, I think I was just pretty much looting every corpse I came across, and then of course the bounty hunting. That was a good source of income.
Yeah.
There. But in this game, I don't think we've talked about it yet. Like, although you can be doing the hunting, you have to watch out that you're not the hunted as well. And there's going to be all sorts of things out there, like cougars and stuff, and
bears,
coyotes. I think, what is it, in overall, like 200 species or something?
Yeah, I think we'll probably get to that at some point. But you're right, there is like tremendous. Let me just tell you this much, because I don't know if this is going to mention it. You talk about all the different species. There's 19 different types of breeds of horses in this game, which goes to show you the level here. And they all have completely different traits from each other. So unless you're a real knowledgeable on horses, which I know I'm not, so I'm going to be starting at grassroots level here, so I have no idea what the hell I'm getting to begin with. But you're going to have to probably spend some time thinking about exactly the right horse you need to get and everything else. But it's kind of cool. I mean, that is a crazy statistic. I think in the last game there might have been 3 or 4, but in this 19 different types of breeds of horses is kind of crazy. So that's going to be really good to have. Also, it says here, this goes into our hunting, as you skin an animal, you can see where the exit wounds are. So that goes to show you the detail. So obviously I was saying before in the last game, it was kind of like, I think it got like it was like a sort of one-off shot, wasn't it, Matt? When you sort of see him slicing up, it was kind of always the same cutscene, I think, most times, with maybe 2 or 3 different voiceovers. But I'm glad, like, they now, obviously, when he gets it, you're going to see where the wound was, what you did to it, and all the rest of it. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I just wonder how gory this game may actually play out to be, Matt, because obviously on the trailers and things, they're not going to put all of that in it because they have to be a bit careful. But do you sense this will be very gory or not gory, or what? Because it's a Rockstar game, and you know what they're like, Matt. They don't hold back some of these stuff. Is it going to be that type of game, or do you think that the focus will actually just be more on, the sort of solid detail rather than the gore as such, going too crazy into it?
Yeah, I think it's going to have a real mixture of both. I'm feeling right now, if this was a movie, it would have Tarantino's name written all over it here, the way this is going. But that's not such a bad thing. I like those kind of movies. No, this is going to translate well into a game, and I feel like pacing will be a thing, because if you're going to have too much of a story, then just to go out on a little trip out into the wilderness and do your own thing, and then you can come back to the full-on action at your own pace and whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there. So I'm kind of glad that's a thing. I have a little statistic here. Arthur's jacket will be left bloodied if he carries a skinned animal on his shoulders, and your horse's rear will be smeared with blood too after delivering your kills to the butcher. So those things, are going to be there. That's the level of detail that's going to be in this game. So it looks like you've got to do a pretty good job of cleaning up here after each thing, because you're going to have a bit of a rep if you don't, by the sounds of it. Also, interesting one here. Arthur can look at his reflection in the mirror and will comment on what he sees. So it's a small touch, but again, it's the little subtleties like that might bring something completely new to gameplay. Because again, there are games that kind of do that, but they don't do that in a way. Like they kind of hint at it, but then it's kind of like it's very one-dimensional. So I'm kind of glad that they put little things in there. It'll be interesting to see what sort of things he comes out with, but I'm sure if you leave him pretty messy, you know what's going to come out. Also, the game is packed with amazing visual effects like heat haze from a pair of gelding tongs, causing the characters to standing behind a strimmer. Then, so the condensation from the breath of humans and horses in the snow, soft glow of superheated bullets, impact from lead slamming against an armoured train carriage. So basically in this part, I mean, you are, again, I said this back at the whole mud thing, like you are going to get like a crazy amount of detail even with just the visuals. And I'm really glad they're doing this, because when I play a game, and again I hinted that I am a big Western genre film fan, these things, these kind of are the key things for me to really even enjoy it even more. The fact that they're putting these little parts in, and it does make the game, these little subtle details make a game not just a great game, but an incredible game. And those little things. So I'm glad they've put them in, and I'm glad that that's like a big thing with condensation and stuff like that. Because there are some great open world games out there, but there's always a thing missing for me. Like, sometimes I'm thinking, why couldn't they have just put that in, or why didn't they do this, or why didn't they do that? Like, it would have been so cool. So I'm glad that Rockstar in this have sort of like left. It's almost like, Matt, they've left no stone unturned here. They've literally, you know, they've gone into a room each time and it's probably said to people like, right, what else is there? What else have we not covered? And someone's put their hand up. Okay, condensation from someone's breath in the snow. Have you got that sorted? You know, it's like someone's just sitting there, just goading them to put all these things in. I'm wondering if everything in it like that, like the little subtle things, are all going to be as careful